Hey guys! Today we'll be covering a 2022 comedy film called Mack Rita. The first scene features a girl named Mack from Los Angeles, who always feels like an older woman trapped in the body of a little girl. As a result, she is fond of the term old gal. Mack was raised by her grandmother, and as she grew older, she made a lot of friends and became a heartthrob of her group. She also wrote a book that was well liked, and people began inviting her to parties. At present, Mack does some minor branding for various companies, but she is unable to secure any major deals. One day she plans to spend the weekend in Palm Springs to celebrate her best friend Carla's bachelor party. Before departing, Mack asks her neighbor Jack to look after her dog. The next day, Mack, Carla, and their two other friends, Sunita and Ali, travel to Palm Springs, where they stay at a luxurious villa. Mack's friends appear to be outgoing and fun-loving, whereas Mack prefers to spend time with grannies and eat in peace. Carla receives a notification on her phone about Bad Bunny's private concert in a walk-in refrigerator, which begins in an hour. This makes the girls excited, except Mack, who tries to convince them to go to the regression therapy tent to relax instead of the concert. However, the girls ignore her and leave. Following this, Mack heads over to the therapy tent to relax. When she walks in, she meets the owner Luca, who demands payment before starting the session. After she pays the bill, Luca allows her to lie down inside the pod and repeatedly asks her to think about what she wants to be. Mack responds that she wants to stay home alone, as a hermit, and not be judged. She also expresses her desire to be a woman who can eat pancakes all day long. Just then, the air begins to whoosh, and the machine begins to buzz. Luca again asks her about what she wants to be, to which she responds that she wants to be a 70-year-old woman trapped in the body of a 30-year-old girl. After this, the lights flicker and the machine stops buzzing. Mack exits the regression pod and discovers herself to be a 70-year-old woman. She screams in shock and looks for Luca, but can't find him. A little while later, she returns to her friends in the villa. Carla doesn't recognize her and tells her to leave while threatening her with pepper spray. However, Mack manages to prove her true identity, shocking Carla. A few moments later, Sunita and Ali arrive, and Carla refers to Mack as her mother's friend. Later that night, Mack explains everything to Carla, who assures her that she'll get her out of it. The next day, she rents a car and drives to the same location where she received the regression therapy, but there is no tent now. This causes Mack to panic and become concerned about her lifestyle, but Carla manages to calm her down. In the next scene, Mack returns back home to Los Angeles. Upon reaching there, she meets Jack and introduces herself as Rita, Mack's aunt. She pretends to have swapped her apartment with Mack and claims that the latter is staying at her place as a writer's retreat. Hearing this, Jack tells Rita that he enjoyed Mack's first book, which flatters her. Before leaving, Jack tells her to summon him if she needs any assistance. The same night, Mack looks at her closet, but she doesn't think her dresses will look good on her any longer. As a result, she goes through her grandmother's clothes and decides to use them for the time being. The next day, Carla introduces Mack, aka Rita, to her mother's wine club members, Betty, Carol, and Angela. She also introduces her stepmother Sharon, who is a fun-loving person by nature. Later at night, Mack Googles Luca, but is unable to find him. The following morning, Mack receives a call from her friend Stephanie, who usually assigns her minor branding jobs. This time, Stephanie instructs her to attend a Pilates event, post pictures on social media, and use the hashtag #AllBodiesCanDoPilates. Following the instructions, Mack goes to the event and starts doing Pilates despite having no idea how to do it. Later, while posting the photos on social media, she unintentionally shares her own photo. The same evening, Jack invites Rita to join him on the roof for some drinks. Initially, she refuses, claiming that the roof is full of people who just want to connect. However, when Jack mentions that the shrimp there is very tasty, she agrees. Shortly after, they start conversing, and just when things start to get interesting, Rita burps loudly, embarrassing herself. Surprisingly, Jack doesn't mind at all. The next day, Rita sits with Sharon and her friends and has a fun conversation about guys. As they gossip, Rita inadvertently mentions Jack, and as a result, all the women become curious about him. When they discover that Jack is much younger than Rita, they advise her to go after him. After some time, Sharon pretends to have an eye doctor's appointment and asks Rita to drive her to the clinic. But as soon as they leave, she tells Rita to drive to her place so that she can see Jack. After arriving, they start spying on his room, and when Sharon finally notices him, she too finds him attractive. The following day, Rita gets a call from Carla, who advises her to try mushroom tea and envision herself as a 30-year-old. Rita obliges, and as soon as she drinks it, she starts getting high, and while inebriated, she repeats that she is 30. After a while, the effects wear off, but she remains an elderly woman. Later, Stephanie, who is unaware of Rita's true identity, calls Mack and tells her to post more pictures of Rita. She reveals that the public has taken a liking to her. However, Mack is uninterested and she hangs up the phone. In the next scene, Jack invites Rita to lunch and the two of them go to a nearby restaurant. There, Jack reveals that he works as a sought-after private wealth manager. This surprises Rita because she believed that he did nothing. She inquires as to why he didn't mention it earlier, to which he responds that it's a boring job and he didn't want to bore her with how boring he is. In the meantime, Mack receives a phone call from Stephanie, who tells her about the intriguing offer for Rita. She explains that the offers are from reputable adult women's clothing companies that are willing to pay a fair price for it. After lunch with Jack, Rita visits Sharon's place where she meets the rest of her friends. Rita reveals that she's getting paid to post pictures on social media. Initially, the women don't believe her because they too post pictures but aren't getting paid. Rita then explains that it is a growing business. She also shows them the thousands of likes on her post, which surprises them all. When Sharon discovers that the majority of the people liking her post are strangers, she wonders why they are interested in what she is doing. Rita also shows them her 200,000 followers, leaving them all stunned. Following this, she asks everyone to gather around her, takes a picture, and posts it on social media. As time passes, Rita and Jack begin to spend more time together. In the meantime, she continues to post on social media, gradually increasing her followers and popularity. One day, a well-known company owner named Nix notices her post from a Pilates event and asks her to be a brand ambassador. The good news doesn't end there, as Nix offers her $100,000 as an exclusive engagement fee, sending her into a frenzy. Jack, who is beside her, also seems happy for her. They become carried away by their happiness and end up kissing each other. The next day, Mack meets with Carla and shares about her first kiss, surprising the latter. Following this, Carla comes up with another surprise. She reveals that Luca will be visiting town over the weekend, but Mack doesn't seem to care about it. Just then, she receives a call from Stephanie, who informs her that Nix needs Rita to appear as an ambassador at the Marie Claire Power Summit on Friday. Mack claims that she won't be able to attend it because Carla's rehearsal dinner is on the same day, but Stephanie responds that Nix won't care about her, as he only needs Rita. Later that same evening, Rita pays a visit to Jack's place and informs him of her dilemma for Friday. Initially, Jack suggests that she skip the wedding because Carla won't mind if Mack's aunt isn't there. But when Rita claims that she can't miss any of the events, he asks for Nick's contract. Upon going through it, he gives her a solution. He explains that the contract only states that she has to attend the event, but it says nothing about how long she must stay. As a result, he suggests she attend the event, but leave early so that she can attend Carla's rehearsal. On Friday, Rita attends Nix's event where she goes live on social media. While doing so, she accidentally sets her hair on fire, causing a commotion. Because of this, she is unable to attend Carla's rehearsal on time. As Carla expresses her displeasure, Sharon overhears the conversation and learns about Rita's true identity. The next day, Sharon and her friends visit Rita's place to find out the truth. Left with no choice, she reveals everything, and hearing this, the old ladies call her stupid for her childish wish. They then encourage her not to skip her years because life is beautiful as it is. Furthermore, Sharon claims that Mack didn't want to be old, but rather to be herself. Following this, Sharon hands her the ticket to Luca's event, prompting her to rush there. In the next scene, Rita reaches the event and yells at Luca and demands he revert her back to normal. Although hesitant, the strange man obliges, and he allows her to enter the regression pod. He then repeats the procedure, and once it's all over, Rita returns back to her normal self. She looks at herself in the mirror and is thrilled to be back. After this, Mack rushes to Carla's place where the latter is preparing for her wedding. Upon seeing her best friend back, Carla becomes emotional. Mack then reunites with Sunita, Ali, and also the old ladies. Following the wedding, she returns back to her place where she meets Jack, who is surprised by her arrival. She reveals that she and Rita have re-swapped their apartments, and hearing this, Jack becomes sad. Before leaving, she burps loudly, just like she did earlier, causing Jack to realize she is none other than Rita. A year later, Mack has released her new book titled Mack and Rita, and people are loving it. We see that the elderly ladies have become well known on social media, just like Rita. Mack decides to recite her new book in front of an audience, but before that, she reveals her past, saying that when her grandmother died, she felt lost as a result. It took a near-death experience to realize that it's not true. She also realized that the people she loves love her too, and believing this gave her the confidence to show herself to new people. The movie ends as she begins reciting her new book.